What we're going to go over today are relations and functions. But before we can get to functions, we need to talk about what a relation is. A relation is simply a way to connect two pieces of information. So, for example, if we have people and we have how many dogs they own, we can take that information and start pairing it up, start connecting it. Well, hey, Tim has 2 dogs. Anna has 3 dogs, and Joe has no dogs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this information and we're going to present it in different ways. Relations, once we know that this information is connected together, you present it in different ways. And there are different ways you can show a relationship. And we're going to go over those different ways of writing a relationship. And we're going to use this information right up here to write it all these different ways. You can write it in a table. You can use it or display it as a mapping. You can simply write it as points, or you can graph this information. We're going to take this information right here that's connected together. We're going to write it in a table. We're going to show you how to write it as a mapping. We're going to show you how to write it as a point. And we're going to show you how to take this information up here and put it on a graph. We're going to go over a table first. Table is real simple. We take the information that we've got here. This is the person. This is the number of dogs they own. Another way of doing this to make it completely mathematical, instead of having these people's names, I'm going to assign each one of these people a number. And I'm going to put that in a table. I simply make 2 columns, and in those columns I simply put that information. So person number 1, which is Tim, has 2 dogs. Person number 2, which is Anna, has 3 dogs. And person number 3, which is Joe, has 0 dogs. I simply took this information and made it into a table. This is the person number 1, number 2, and number 3, and then you relate or connect that piece of information to that person. So that's how you make a table. You simply take the information, put it in a table. Not only can you make it a table, we're going to go over how to take this information and create a mapping. To create a mapping, you make 2 circles. And circles certainly don't have to be exact. And again, I'm going to assign these people numbers like this. Person number 1, person number 2, person number 3 go inside this circle. And this is going to be the people. And then the number of dogs goes in this area over here. 2, 3, and 0. And what I do is I simply connect the person over here to the number of dogs they have, like this. Tim has 2 dogs, so I draw an arrow going like this. Anna has 3 dogs. I simply draw an arrow connecting it like that. Joe has 0 dogs. I simply connect it like that right there. This is a mapping. You connect the pieces of information. This is the people over here, and then you connect it to how many dogs they have over here. This is an example of a mapping. I can take this same information and simply write points. Again, to make this completely mathematical, I'm going to assign numbers to these people. And remember, to write a point, you have to have parentheses and a comma in between 2 numbers. So Tim is person number 1. I make parentheses. I go 1, comma 2. Tim has 2 dogs. I make parentheses. Anna, which is person number 2, has 3 dogs. I'm taking this information over here and I'm creating points. I have to have a parentheses, the person, which is person number 3, a comma, and then how many dogs they have. Once it's written as a point, then it's really easy to graph this information. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take these points and we're simply going to graph them. I'm going to take this first one right here. That means go over 1, up 2. There is a point representation of Tim's information. Anna's information, go over 2, 1, 2, up 3, 1, 2, 3. That point goes right there. A graph representation of Joe's information, that means I need to go over 3, 1, 2, 3, and I don't go up or down any. There is an example of graphing that information. So you can have a table, you can have mapping, you can have points, or you can graph it. Here's how they will present the information, like this. Express each relation below as a set of ordered pairs. They're going to have you take something that's written in a table and simply change it into points, or take something that's on a table, put it on a graph. 9 goes with 4. Right here, 9 goes with 4. 14 goes with 7. 14 goes with 7. And 16 goes with 12. Like that right there. So they're going to give you either a table, graph, or points, and you're going to have to convert it into one of the other ways of representing the relationship. Here is a table, and this down here is mapping. So, according to the table, 16 goes with 19. So I need to go down here and look for where 16 goes with 19. Look, 16 goes with 19. This has 16 going with 2. Wait a minute, 16 does go with 2. But not only does 16 go with 2, 16 has to go with 19. There should be 2 arrows coming out of 16, because 16 is connected to not only 19, but 16 should also be connected with 2. And this is the one that does that. 16 is connected with 2, and 16 is connected with 19. This one up here, it has 6 being connected to 2, which is true, but it also has 6 being connected with 19. And according to the table, 6 should not be connected with 19. So when you make these mappings, you can draw more than one arrow showing that a number like 16 can be connected with 2 other numbers.